the act of being mindful. Simply put, difficult to do if you don't slow down. Might mean changing the way you walk. Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside. Focusing on my ability to notice, trying to be mindful. It does require change, all right? So the act of being outside, amazing benefits, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But if you can practice a little nature connection, if you can be mindful, that requires slowing down, changing the way you walk. Many folks out there on their evening walk, daily walk, get a chance to get outside, even if it's just walking around your own property, or maybe it's through a park, maybe just down your street. Different reasons for walking, but for myself, I have the ability to walk in nature, and just taking the dog out for a walk is one thing. But if I've got time, if I make a little effort, I'm going to exercise some mindfulness. It just taps into a greater potential for healing. And if I can spend 20 minutes to an hour outside, especially surrounded by coniferous trees, I'm allowing myself to inhale and absorb phytoncides. Phytoncides are the volatile components released by coniferous trees, released by all trees, but the coniferous phytoncides have been studied and are a little more closely connected to aspects of our own body's immune system. Phytoncides are, their compounds relay information. They're part of the tree's natural defense against bacteria, fungus, infestation. But they share chemicals, so chemical messages land with other trees. There's also messages relayed through what the resources the tree might need through the mycorrhizal network, and that's the fungal network that's in the ground, connecting all trees. They share resources. I need nitrogen, I need potassium. I've got a bug. Hey, other trees, change your chemistry so that your buds taste different, so your leaves taste different. And those compounds on the wind have been traced and connected to insects and to birds, so that one part of that defense mechanism says, well, I've got to make some changes, change my chemistry, start to deal with that. And while I'm at it, I need some help. So those phytoncides on the wind connect with natural predators. Maybe it's a wasp or a beetle or something that will be attracted by the caterpillar or the aphids or something that is attacking the leaf, whether it be a needle or a broadleaf, but as well as birds. These components can be studied by scientists, by humans, introducing traceable elements, similar to what a doctor might do if they're trying to find something in your body without opening you up, right? They'll introduce an element they can trace, find its source, follow the path, and then come up with a strategy. So phytoncides is the tree's version of doing it, and they look after each other, and they are helping members of their community prepare for an invasion, prepare for an element in nature that is maybe a seasonal change. So I'm out here absorbing phytoncides, and they do connect with our body's own immune system. All right, the chemistry is not that different. So phytoncides connect with our NK cells, natural killer cells. And in order for our body to actually use them, you've got to be in the right state. So if you are stressed, if you are producing cortisol, then it simply passes through you. And when we were animals on this planet, navigating the landscape, living with the land, off the land, we were deeply connected. Now, the act of walking in nature, often with appropriate footwear, we're that much more disconnected because of our insulation against the Earth's natural rhythms, the bioelectric rhythms of the actual planet. So part of forest therapy or forest bathing might include walking barefoot, right? Doing a little earthing as it is. Really, it's grounding, but the difference between those two is that earthing is as much of your bare body connecting to the actual earth so that you can actually physically connect and be part of the earth's bioelectric rhythms, whereas grounding is something that you would do indoors because you need to tap into your structure's own ground. We're talking about the electricity going through your house, the ground. In every structure is a rod, copper, grounding, I guess, against electrical feedback. So you can get grounding pads for your feet to sleep on, and that is an excellent way to reconnect, change your heart rhythms, realign with the planet. But earthing is a strong practice, and it's been linked to the ability to heal. All right, so patients, especially patients who are suffering from back surgery, anything to do with the neck or the head, requires minimal movement in a bed, and the same philosophy as helping patients recover more quickly, we're requiring fewer pain meds, the access to nature, even if it's just visual, right? Studies show that patients near windows recover more quickly, require fewer medications to manage pain than those who are, in an isolated room, concrete blocks, curtains. So being out in nature or bringing nature in really helps. But being mindful, right? Just one additional step to what you can do for yourself, for your body, when you're out in nature. So just slow down and notice. Spot the development, the growth, the change in the leaf, in broadleaves and other buds coming out around you. Just noticing. And part of that noticing is sense of smell. What am I smelling in this damp air? All right. And when you start to smell nature, you might actually be inhaling some of those phytoncides, right? They land on your skin, absorb through your eyes, into your lungs and your sinuses. And as I notice changes, relying on the light patterns, the fractals, stimulating, just the act of slowing down allows for lateral eye movement. Now, that's philosophy that's used by therapists with those people dealing with trauma, going through actual episodes of stress to the point where that stress, that emotion of trauma, or that emotion of fear, that emotion of depression, anxiety, is manifesting itself physically. So, if an emotion is affecting you physically, try to find things that you can do physically that will change your emotional state, right? Flip the switch. So, change the way you breathe, right? Calm yourself, slow down your heart rhythms, your blood pressure, relieving hypertension. Smell nature. Take a look at nature, notice change. The act of just walking has its own benefits, right? Change the way you walk. Change the way your foot strikes the ground, right? Try not to pound with your heel. These are all strategies that you can incorporate, but it may require you slowing down. And simply notice, right? So as I notice, I am just, amazed by small changes that I'm finding daily. Things that emerge, and they are short-lived. They're ephemeral, all right? Pretty special thing that's only going to be out for a couple days before it changes. That nature connection is part of the healing process. We all have it for one reason or another. We put it upon ourselves. We are more critical of ourselves than most other people in our lives. Really not healthy. So taking a moment to yourself, for yourself, it's a great practice. Doing it in nature has benefits. All right. But as a certified forest therapy guide, there are techniques that can help the deepening. Sharing that with patients, sharing that with clients. Not a bad practice to incorporate in one's own life. So that's why I walk in nature. But how I walk in nature makes the difference. So please find some time to go outside. And if you want to add to your health regime, there's lots of ways you can improve your own physical, mental, emotional well-being by changing the way you walk. Slow down, notice, smell, listen, right? We're hardwired and we're soothed by the sound of birds, by the sound of water, right? By the sound of wind. And there's something with amazing potential about taking time. Time is a resource that is challenging. We have to manage it. We have to make it. It's worth it. You deserve it. So go outside, be in nature. It's good for you. You deserve it. All right. Thanks for watching. See you soon.